Helen here with Eyes on the Game, and I'm here being joined by the man who probably doesn't need an introduction, four-time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler. Always great to see you. Different environment. I'm used to being at your show, which, speaking of, is tomorrow going down at the Pearl at the Palms. Can you kind of talk about the Jay Cutler Desert Classic?
Eighth year here in Las Vegas. I do several classics, but this one luckily is in Las Vegas, which is where I reside. I transplanted myself here 16 years ago. And we have a huge lineup. We have athletes coming from all over the world internationally also. And we have many, many different divisions. We have different ages, height, weight brackets. I mean, we have, the classic physique's now been added, and we have between women's bikini, we have called the bodybuilding side, the masters, teenage. I'm excited because last year we kind of were absent from the Palms. It's been through a lot of renovations now, and we're excited to be back in business there, and looking forward to another successful year.
Yeah, and so what's your favorite part of the show? I'm sure there's a lot.
My favorite part is seeing the expression of these athletes that compete maybe for the first time. We have a lot of first-time athletes, which I think is probably the hardest part for a lot of people is learning to not have the stage fright and getting up there, and this is like the end result of whatever their journey is. And I think for people have different reasons. I mean, a lot of people obviously want to go up there to win, but they might be having something personal that they're trying to get over, or just trying to prove something. And I think a lot of people use this as a platform that they can present the best of their ability. And I think, me being able to provide that platform is really the most enjoyable thing for me. And a long time ago, it was my first show. So I know what kind of goes to the people's minds. And that's what's kind of cool as a promoter. I mean, some people promote for different reasons, but I kind of took that role because I wanted to give the experience that I was able to experience from a teenager forward, and now being on the other side and providing that for them, it's pretty awesome. And
for those who are making their first time or debut on stage, what advice would you give them? Because I'm sure they're kind of nervous.
They're nervous, and I think a lot of people, they're prepared for it. So it's the transitions and the smiling and the comfortability, like I said, moving along the stage. You've practiced. Now you go out there and try to take your eyes off the lights and the audience and just pretend like this is just what you've done over and over and over in the gym or in front of a small audience. And really just go through your poses and remember, this is your time to shine. So I think it's really, try to relax your mind and relax your body to what you've learned to show your strong points and hide your weaknesses, because that's really what goes on the stage.
Now, I know you've been extremely busy as always and more on the promoting side, but is this a rumor or is it true that you're interested in coming back and competing, or did you just kind of tease it?
I never said that. I mean, I may have media around me that is trying to coax me into getting back up there. Yeah. And to be honest, I mean, I'm doing so many great things in the industry and outside the industry that I really don't have the anxiety to get up there. I would like to just continue to do the positive things that I can do from the sidelines and really give other people the opportunities to showcase their best. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to give people a backbone to get up there and really just perform and actually be financially stable in the business. And that's really what I think I provide better for our business, is just teaching people the business of bodybuilding. And I think that's really where it lays with me. So today, tomorrow, I don't think there's possibility of me coming back competing, but let the fans think so.
Yeah, absolutely. And can you kind of tell your fans some things that you have been up to?
You know what? I'm still traveling tremendously. I promote 5 of these Cutler events. I work on supplement side. I do the clothing brands. I'm still involved in many endorsements. I'm working my social media channels tremendously. But I'm traveling internationally and domestically. I just did actually my first military tour of the year last week in San Diego with the Navy. So I'm doing monthly visits. Next in actually May, I'm in Virginia with the troops there. So I do a visit. And I've committed a lot of time because I come from a strong military background. My family, my dad, my stepfather, and my brother were all in the service. So I'm trying to just really do my best to provide something for these guys to look forward to, and really gives people goals to shoot for. And that's what I never realized. Like when I stepped off the stage, I was so focused on being number one, I never realized how much I give people motivation, and people use me as kind of a role model to be better themselves. And so I'm just out there promoting and traveling, and really I'm still probably in demand more than any athlete in our business, which is great. And a lot of new projects on the horizon, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and they can all stay tuned because your Instagram, I follow you. You're always traveling and extremely busy. But kind of like a quick, reflection upon your very successful career. What memory stands out to you the most? I mean, aside from winning, 4 times.
It's funny because that one probably isn't. Winning the biggest title is huge. I mean, that's a big memorable moment, but. Like landing my first Muscle and Fitness cover, which magazines were really our outlet before social media existed, like when I was 21, that was awesome. Being able to take my first trip at 19 to California and train in Venice Beach, which is like the Mecca, that was very memorable. I mean, the list goes on and on. My first pro win in New York City when I was 2025. It just goes on and on. And believe it or not, some of the losses are actually... Like, I know when I was struggling to be the best and I was trying to break through, and, I remember struggling and just, like, not being sure how I was going to do because I wasn't really a big name yet. Those seem to be the best moments. Moving to California in 1999 to pursue a bigger career and working alongside the great Joe Weider, who's, not with us today, but he was a big, big inspirational person for me, and he gave me the opportunity to really be the best I could be. And he told me from day one, he said, he told me at 21, you're going to be the best someday. And it's really hard when someone tells you that and believes in you. And then, you can never imagine it coming from the place that I come from and becoming the best. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and you continue to inspire, like you said, inspire and motivate so many others. And what are your thoughts on the Mr. Olympia coming up, and who do you think's going to win?
You know what? I get excited every year. It's every September here. I think it's mid-month this year. It's kind of switches like between a week or two. But Phil Heath is defending. He's going for 8. Yeah. I think he has a great shot. Big Ramy pushed him last year, who was second. I think he has a great opportunity to step up, and he's a possibility also. But, we had a new Arnold Classic champ, this William Bonnick, who was third last year. He was really sharp, and I was in Australia a couple weeks ago to see Rolly Winkler win. He was a really big threat to Miss Olympia in the fall, and I'm excited to be. I'm at the expo every year, and I think it's the show has continued to gain publicity because Mr. Olympia, like the male bodybuilding side, isn't the only thing. I mean, they have men's physique, they have classic now. Dwayne Johnson's involved with the production, so I think that's pretty cool. But it's always great now to sit in the audience and watch. Do I get the anxiety to get up there and compete? Not necessarily. I'm kind of like enjoying watching these guys make the transformation and do the things that I did because I know the feeling that they're going through standing on that stage. So I'm excited for it, but I predict that Phil will walk away with number 8, to be honest.
Yeah, he's after you. It's only been him.
Mm-hmm.
That's
he beat me to win, and we had a unique relationship coming into it, and I think that's pretty awesome. I was happy to hand him the crown, and unfortunately I went out in an injury on that year, and then of course I tried to come back. I wasn't as what I could be, but it moves me over to like bigger things in life. I mean, you realize there's a lot of life after bodybuilding, and like I said, I still travel. I'm still in demand a lot, which is really cool, and to be a mentor to a lot of these guys, it's what I do best. I think I work very well with people. I've always said that relationships build the most successful careers, and I'm doing a lot of things to continue to build relationships. I'm traveling worldwide into different cultures, trying to just spread the word of fitness and health and pretty much happiness. I mean, that's what I'm trying to put into people's lives is, have fun while you're doing it, because I was very strict and I was very regimented, and I think you have to be a certain way. You have to be a little selfish to be great, but I was able to really put myself, in a kind of a box and train at the best of my ability, and I think that's what made me so successful. But I do think that you can still enjoy the process and not be so demanded to live that very, very strict lifestyle.
Like it's all part of the journey. That's what they say, right? Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, and it's hard to do that when you're on top. It's hard because as a journalist or whoever, someone that interviews people, like you always want to know, okay, what's next? Yeah. Even after the win, right? It's like, okay, what do you do now after you go and have a beer or you eat a pizza or whatever you do? And you really, you're not allowed with the media really to enjoy that moment because it's like you just won the biggest title in the world. And then you start thinking about next year or the next big thing.
Expectations.
And your expectations, I mean, once you're a winner and you're the best in the world, it's like you don't expect to ever go on the other side, right? And I was one of the only Mr. Olympia that lost the title and came back and won it. I won it 2 years and I lost it to Dexter Jackson, came back and won it 2 more times, and I lost it again. And that was I never gained it back. But for me, it's just, it was a process for me. And I think that really helped me a lot because it teaches a lot about life.
Yes, and about yourself
and yeah, and I mean, it's all a learning process. And I always tell everyone, the wins are great, but the losses sometimes are the best learning experiences you can go through.
Yeah, and it builds character. But once again, starting with tomorrow, your show, Jay Cutler Desert Classic, going down at the Pearl, at the Palms. Now, I forgot to ask you earlier, but are tickets, still available? And what if they still want to compete?
Tickets are still at the box office. Las Vegas, NPC.com. You can get more information about it. And we have a prejudging start in the morning, and then the night show starts around 6 o'clock. So there'll be tickets available for both shows. And if you can't make one or the other, there's 2 different parts of the show. So make sure you come and support the local athletes and hopefully people from traveling afar, because we get some international people, which is cool.
Yeah, and they're always super excited. And also, what about your social media? Where can your fans keep up to date with you?
Jay Cutler, of course, the bodybuilder side. At Jay Cutler Instagram, Jay Cutler 4X Facebook, the list goes on and on, but those are the 2 main places you can find me, and I'm very active on there, and I'm still working out every day, and I'll hit the gym later today, so.